Hi there, thanks for joining me. Welcome to a bit of my day here at Sunnyside Journals. And if you're new here, I'm Catherine. I make new journals out of old books. This book is from 1888. And if you're new here, you might want to go to the previous video and watch me take this apart, because I already have taken the text block out of the cover. And now it's time to start making plans for this little beauty. I love the size of it. My plan so far is to put 5 signatures in, although it's such a tiny little book, I might just put 3 in. Not sure yet. We'll see. I could probably do 4, but I really like uneven numbers because it just helps me to be able to put one signature right in the center of my book. It's purely a brain thing for me, a Catherine brain thing. Anyhow, so I got a little bit of work done. Of course, I was missing for most of the week, but that's purely because when I go through waves of times where I have a lot of doctor appointments, and I do that on purpose because they tend to get me kind of anxious. And so I would rather than space them out and constantly be thinking, uh-oh, that one's coming up, uh-oh, that one's coming up, if I can put 2 or 3 into 1 week, then I can just worry about the week, and then I know I've probably got about a month and a half, and it's all mine. So last week was the lots of doctors' weeks. So I saw my Botox guy, and then I saw my neurologist guy. These were appointments for the neuromuscular disorder I have called cervical dystonia, which is, in layman's terms, it's a tremor in my neck that makes my head shake. And it can, at first, it's not bad. First thing in the morning, you think, this is fine, I can live with this. And by 4 in the afternoon, it's extremely, extremely painful. So I'm going to put this aside for now, but I will be using the front cover. I love the front cover. I will find a way to, I don't know. I was just going to say I'll find a way to make it pretty, but I really love, I don't know if it's showing up well on the camera, but I really love this little etching here of, it's a little old man looking in a great big book amongst a pile of great big books. And I really wouldn't want to cover that up, but maybe if I can find a beautiful woman or something. I don't want to cover the 1888, and I don't want to cover this, but anything else I don't mind covering up. So I will be taking out I'll be taking out a few of the pages to put back into the book, because that's always nice to do. Especially a lot of these are pretty. They've got that that really nice font. It apparently was originally in German. It's a play, and it was originally in German, and that doesn't surprise me, because the books that I have that are German, the older books, hymn books and church books and such, all have this this beautiful old font that they use. So it made sense when I saw that font, and then I did a little more reading about Nathan the Wise. Things started making sense. You'll notice here, last time we were together, I was trying to decide whether whether to use the original end papers, and just sometimes it's fun to have the really mucky original papers in a book, and I've done that in the past. But I made the decision, no, I do need to cover these up and put something. I really want to make a pretty little book. And so this book needs some pretty little end papers. So it was tricky to pull back these edges because it's so old, and because both of these are paper. They're not leather. They're not book cloth. They're paper. So I didn't want to damage by lifting up. And my goodness, even though they most likely used paste to glue it together, that paste, it just shows you that paste, like this is cooked flour and water usually, holds. It can really hold. So anyhow, I was able to get it far enough back that I'm comfortable with this much of a border for when I put new end papers down. Not sure yet what I want to use. Sorry, I paused. I was hoping a book that I was looking for was close by here, and I don't see it. I'm going to go look for it. I have a book of marbled paper, and I am tempted to, oh, that would be really, really pretty in there. I'll have to look and see what else I've got. Oh, that would look beautiful in there too. I think I like it in this direction. I really love that. And it's got that nice burgundy in it. And a bit of the gold. I really like that. These ones are really large patterns for such a dainty little book. I might take this out now so that I'll remember that this is one of the papers that I think I'd like to use for end papers. I know I should probably be taking this out safer, but let's see what we can do. I do know I'm going to have to trim it down, so there we go. Well, there was a little damage there. That's all right. We'll be okay. All right, so I'll put this aside. Now, I need to... write template on this. First I want to make sure it's not an important page. I want it to be able to use the pages of the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. Do you know what I mean? There's 5 acts in this play. So, okay, so this is all right. So template. It just helps me when I'm measuring the future pages. And I do it on both sides because it'll get tossed somewhere on my desk here. And then I'll be saying, now where is that template? And it'll be laying down on the wrong side and I won't know. Now, another thing that I do is I never ever am able to get my handmade text block back in as tight as the publisher put this one in. See how tight that fits in there so nicely. So because of that, I need to take in the size, the measurement of my papers just a little bit on the one side, so that it'll account for that I won't be fitting it in as closely into the spine. So I usually just eyeball it, but I usually take off maybe about 1/8 of an inch. I just eyeball it, and now see, that looks uneven, but it is even. Oh, is this one of those books that's... Let's see. That's even. Let's see. That's even. Well, maybe it was uneven. I guess we'll see. Then usually what I do as well, because I'm forgetful, is I point an arrow at that edge and put a check mark so that I know that I cut that edge already and trimmed it, because I have in the past forgot to trim my template, and I made my entire text block and then went to put it in the book, and it was too wide for what I like the text block to be. Template and text block shouldn't start with the same letter. I get the words mixed up. Anyhow, so that reminds me, yes, I've already cut it and we're safe. We're good to go. This is how big the pages need to be. Now, what I'd like to do is in order to be frugal and economical and environmentally friendly and all that good stuff, these are, you can see where I poked holes in some of these. These are the folios that I pulled out that were going to be in the Crested Titmouse winter journal that I had been working on. And oh my goodness, I just realized I've got 2 little Christmas people on my windowsill. What are you two still doing there? They look like made in Macau. Macau. I feel badly if I'm mispronouncing that. They look like Hummels, but they're not. It's plastic. But she's a little bit chipped. But I knew that I could paint. I could use some paint and freshen her up. And the beak of his hat was still nice. So I just thought, I think they were 10 cents each way back when. Anyhow, sorry, off topic. See, look, there goes a squirrel. In this case, it was a Christmas decoration that was out. And I didn't put any out this year. I put a wreath on my front door. And that was about it. And that Belsnickel Santa that I found thrifting, he was out this year, and that was it. I didn't put out any other. We were so sick. Last thing I needed was to be also exhausting myself putting up decorations. And my husband would help, but I'm one of those people, when I decorate for Christmas, I like things just so. And I'm not very good at sharing my festive Christmas decorating time. I don't know if you're like that. Some people love, let's all decorate, isn't it nice? I'm sort of, no, bring me the decorations and then everyone go away while I make my magic happen. Anyhow, back to these. So when I realized that I needed to put 9 signatures in that book instead of 11, I had to take 2 signatures out. And these are folios that I had cut initially for that book. So we're going to use some of them and trim them and there we go. Sorry, I'm thinking. I should be talking and I'm thinking I want to come down or in a little bit. Oh, hold on 1 minute. That's better. All right. So anyhow, pencil. So we'll put a few of these in. I do want it to be able to be a writer's journal as ever, but I also want to have a bit of fun. So now I've got to make my decision. Is it going to be 5 signatures or is it going to be 3 signatures? Why should that be such a difficult? I'm going to do 5 because I can always use the extra 2 inside if I change my mind to 3. There we go. So I hope you're doing well. It's pouring rain here, and I wish I could send it to California. My goodness, how I wish I could send it to California. I would be happy to share our rain. It's absolutely drizzling out there. And it's breaking my heart watching the news with the fires that are happening. One. So this is the exciting part. This is the part I dislike the most when I'm making a journal, is putting together the pages. The fun part is making them pretty, and if you're going to put laces in, choosing the laces. Oh, that reminds me, I want to show you something. Okay, let me finish these 2, and let's hope I can remember to show you after I finish these 2. There we go. There. Oh, let go. Thank you. All right. So something that when I decided that this young lady was going to be on the cover, I realized that I don't want Nathan the Wise on the here. I love this. Love that the library numbers are still on it. Love that. And those numbers are the same numbers that somebody wrote here from 1888. That just gives me a thrill. Anyhow, I thought, all right, well, maybe I could find a tiny little beautiful picture. Not maybe, for sure. I know I could find a little Victorian type thing. But then I remembered I got in Happy Mail or Happy Gift quite a while ago many of these. Look how perfect that is for there. So that little tiny, I have to trim because it's a whole strip of them. burgundy, pink, burgundy, pink, burgundy, pink. So of course I've got to go with the burgundy. And that is just perfect for covering up Nathan the Wise. At least on the spine, it will still be here. But that's fine because we're still going to make it pretty. So I thought I'd show you that. Alrighty. So now I should have also penciled how wide I want. And here's something I didn't explain, which I should have, is, hold on a second, I want to spread these out a little bit. The very first folio in a signature always ends up being a little bit wider than because it gets fat, that page gets shorter. It comes back. I'm sure you've discovered that yourself in making journals. So the front page of my signatures, I actually do make them the size of, so I'm actually going to add that 1/8 of an inch back on just to the front page. The rest of them will be this size. So I thought I would explain that in case I've never explained that before, and I'm sure I have, and I'm just forgetting. Now we're going to get out my little Tim Holtz. Ada, over you go, girl. You're getting in the way to Ada. There we go. Perfect. I really like this little Tim Holtz decal edge chomper. I stole the idea from Nancy. She ordered one first, and I thought, okay, I need that. And I ordered it, and I've never regretted it. I've used it pretty well in every single journal since then. Now, I've still got so many of these to use, and I won't be trimming off these. I will be folding some in to make tip outs. Now you might be thinking, Catherine, why aren't you just jamming it up to the top? And I find for some reason it's one of the few drawbacks of this paper cutter is it doesn't cut well up here, and it also doesn't cut well down here. So I try and make sure that whatever I'm trimming is not closest to the top or the bottom. In case you were wondering, what is she doing? So I just use the cutting lines to make sure that I've got a 90-degree angle. And then I look for my little pencil mark that I gave myself. And I go for it. There we go. I have the strangest thing since I had that cold. Maybe someone out there knows. So, hubby and I both had that really bad cold through Christmas. Honestly, for several weeks. We're still dealing with leftovers, nighttime congestion. His went into his chest. He had a terrible cough with his. Mine went into my head. And of all things now, even though I'm no longer need any kind of cold medication or anything like that. I feel like I have the sensation that I'm constantly smelling cigarette smoke. Isn't that the weirdest thing? And I looked it up and they said it's an actual thing. And that sometimes it can mean that you still have a tiny bit of an infection in your sinuses, one of your sinuses. Or you can also maybe have done a bit of damage and it will take a few more weeks. It'll take a few more weeks before that goes away. But that if by the time you're sure your cold has gone, if you're still smelling, cigarette smoke apparently is the most common one, or smoke in general, but this definitely smells it. I'm constantly looking around thinking, nobody smokes in here. Like my husband and I, we don't smoke. But it still startles me. Uh-oh, the rain's turning into snow. Oh dear. Anyhow, so I'll wait this out. The cigarette smoke in my nose. Vicks VapoRub helps just a little bit underneath the nose. I feel like I'm sort of in one of those CSI TV shows, you know, where they go in when they found someone who's been gone for a couple of weeks before they got found, and the people go in with Vaseline under their nose. That helps. So if I find it irritating me a little too much, I just put a tiny little bit just under my nose, and then it's sort of Vicks VapoRub. It smells like love in a jar. All right, there we go. So right now we have 5. That looks like a 3. Right now we've got 5. We could end up with 3. And I'll need to remember that. All right, so 5 signatures will be going in. And I wanted to see whether this would come up or not. Or if it's going to be difficult. I want to be careful. I have been a little too vigorous in the past sometimes trying to get the old liner out. And I have gone right through the book cloth, the spine. And it wouldn't surprise me to do that to this book because it's not the best quality. It's so unusual. And I had someone, a wise commenter, explain to me that sometimes very, very, very old books are actually better quality than newer books because they used better quality paper before they started being able to figure out how to make cheap paper. And there was plenty of good reasons for both. You know, cheaper quality books meant that books were able to get out to more people for a better price. But, of course, they don't, as in the case of this poor little book, don't last the test of time. I think we're going to lose that top. I'm taking this out because I will be just putting a very light, probably layer of masking tape in here to give it a little fortification. I was hoping to get the whole thing out at once, but oh well. Now I've got to be careful with this. I want something with a round edge because knowing me, I will poke that right through. So I'm just going to see if I can get that off. Oh, it's really coming down now. That snow, there's no more rain. I guess the weather heard me and said, she's complaining about rain. She wants to send us somewhere. Let's turn into snow and then she can shovel. Well, we have a snow blower, so you do whatever you want, weather. We don't have anywhere to be till, well, hubby has to be at work on Monday. I don't have anywhere to be. There. So it looks like that's got a hole in it. Let's see this side. Oh, it's right there. Looks like we're going to have to put a little bit of lace. A little bit of lace or maybe glue. No, glue will do. Okay. Now here's a little something I do because I want the masking tape to really be able to adhere well. And this is like imagine trying to put masking tape on sand at the beach. You wouldn't be able to do it. And when you've still got old paper slightly stuck, this is using a dry, stiff brush. See the dust coming off of it? That's from this. You can get a lot of this old paper. It's happy to turn into powder for you. So if you have allergies, put a mask on. And this will get off quite a bit of whatever paper didn't come up when you peeled out your liner. Gee, I wonder, I'm going to be able to glue that in somewhere because you can still read Nathan the Wise. Okay, well, that will go back in. That'll go back into the journal somewhere. See the dust here that using that dry brush has pulled up. So I don't spend too long on it, but I'll see if I can get a bit more of this paper dust off of this spine so that the masking tape will stick to it better. And masking tape is fine. Good quality masking tape. Don't I don't advise using dollar store masking tape. Go to a hardware store and get contractor grade masking tape. One roll will last you several years. There we go. Look at that. We got that out of there. So now probably the next time we get together, I will probably have made the new template with fabric for the signatures, and I will have definitely made up my mind about whether we will be having 3 or 5 signatures. And if you're wondering, I try to read your minds while you're watching. If you're wondering about these holes that are already in this paper, they will not be a problem. I'll be putting in new holes, and I already know that where I put the new holes will be in different places. And so these will hold very nicely, and the previously poked holes that were going to be for the other journal, it just won't even be an issue at all. So there we go. Little Miss Ada is, there we go. She's going to be looking beautiful before we know it. I really love working on the covers. And probably our end papers will be there. Probably. I haven't looked at my scrapbook paper yet, so I'm not saying for sure. Thanks for joining me today, if you're still here. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you're safe wherever you are out in this world. I hope you're safe and healthy, and same with your loved ones. And take care. We'll get together soon. Bye.